Fire blocking between floors typically involves using 2 layers of 5/8-inch drywall or gypsum board, installed with staggered joints. This method provides better fire resistance and often meets building codes. The approach of using one sheet of 5/8-inch rock, 1/2-inch furring strips, and then another sheet of 5/8-inch rock is not typically used for fire blocking. With regards to recessed lighting, building codes commonly require fire blocking around recessed lighting and ceilings. It is important to note that it is generally not necessary for the owner to supply cans specifically rated for fire blocking. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, states that recessed lighting fixtures must be listed for use in fire-rated ceilings and installed according to the manufacturer's instructions. Fire-rated recessed lighting cans are available from multiple manufacturers. These cans have special features, such as intumescent gaskets or thermal barriers, designed to prevent the spread of fire. Examples of manufacturers that offer fire-rated recessed lighting cans are Juno Lighting Group, Halo Lighting, Philips Lighting, Lithonia Lighting, and Cooper Lighting. When choosing a method, firstly, confirm with the authority having jurisdiction, or OJ, that the proposed fire blocking method meets their requirements. Secondly, consider installing fire blocking between floors using the standard approach of 2 layers of 5/8-inch drywall with staggered joints. Thirdly, be sure to use recessed lighting cans that are listed for use in fire-rated ceilings and install them according to the manufacturer's instructions. It's crucial to understand the role of fire blocking in building construction. Fire blocking is a passive fire protection method that helps to slow the spread of fire within concealed spaces of a building. These spaces include walls, floors, and ceilings. The main purpose of fire blocking is to compartmentalize a building, preventing fire from spreading rapidly through these concealed areas, which can buy valuable time for occupants to evacuate and for firefighters to respond. Materials approved for fire blocking typically include solid wood, 2-inch nominal lumber, 3/4-inch wood structural panels, 1/2-inch wood particle board, 1/2-inch gypsum board, and other approved materials. The specific requirements for fire blocking can vary depending on local building codes and the type of construction. In many jurisdictions, the International Building Code, or IC, is adopted, which provides detailed specifications for fire blocking materials and installation methods. The NEC also plays a role in electrical installations within fire-rated assemblies, particularly concerning recessed lighting. Recessed lighting, also known as can lights, poses a unique fire safety challenge because it creates a penetration in the ceiling, which is a critical fire-rated barrier in multi-story buildings. The heat generated by these lights can also ignite nearby combustible materials if not properly installed and protected. To address these concerns, the NEC and other building codes require that recessed lighting fixtures installed in fire-rated ceilings must be specifically listed for that purpose. These listed fixtures are designed to limit the spread of fire and heat through the ceiling assembly. They often incorporate features such as thermal protection, intumescent materials, and airtight construction. Thermal protection is a built-in mechanism that shuts off the light if it overheats, preventing it from becoming an ignition source. Intumescent materials expand when exposed to heat, sealing off any gaps around the fixture and preventing the passage of flames and hot gases. Airtight construction minimizes air leakage, which can also contribute to the spread of fire. In addition to using listed fixtures, it's essential to follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully when installing recessed lighting in fire-rated ceilings. This includes proper spacing between the fixture and any combustible materials, as well as ensuring that all wiring connections are secure and properly insulated. The AHJ plays a crucial role in enforcing fire safety regulations and ensuring that buildings are constructed and maintained in accordance with the applicable codes. The AHJ can be a local building inspector, fire marshal, or other official responsible for overseeing construction and fire safety. Before starting any construction project, it's essential to consult with the AHJ to understand the specific fire blocking requirements in the jurisdiction. They can provide guidance on approved materials, installation methods, and any other relevant regulations. The AHJ also has the authority to inspect the work and ensure that it meets the required standards. If the fire-blocking or recessed lighting installation does not comply with the codes, the AHJ can issue a notice of violation and require corrective action. In some cases, failure to comply with fire safety regulations can result in fines, penalties, or even legal action. Therefore, it's always best to work closely with the AHJ throughout the construction process to ensure that all fire safety requirements are met. When it comes to choosing recessed lighting cans for fire-rated ceilings, there are several factors to consider. Firstly, it's essential to select a fixture that is specifically listed for use in fire-rated assemblies. This listing indicates that the fixture has been tested and certified to meet the applicable fire safety standards. Secondly, consider the type of bulb or light source that the fixture uses. Light-emitting diode, or LED, fixtures are becoming increasingly popular due to their energy efficiency and long lifespan. However, it's important to ensure that the LED fixture is compatible with the fire-rated can and that it does not generate excessive heat. Thirdly, look for fixtures with features such as thermal protection, intumescent gaskets, and airtight construction. These features provide an extra layer of fire protection and help to prevent the spread of fire and smoke. Fourthly, consider the aesthetic appearance of the fixture. Recessed lighting is available in a variety of styles and finishes, so it's important to choose a fixture that complements the overall design of the space. Finally, be sure to follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully when installing the fixture. This includes proper wiring, spacing, and insulation. Another important consideration is the use of fire-rated caulk and sealant around any penetrations in a fire-rated assembly. These materials are designed to expand when exposed to heat, sealing off any gaps and preventing the passage of flames and hot gases. Fire-rated caulk and sealant should be used around the edges of the recessed lighting can, as well as around any other penetrations in the ceiling, such as wiring or piping. It's also important to ensure that the caulk and sealant are compatible with the surrounding materials and that they are applied according to the manufacturer's instructions. Regular inspections of fire-blocking and recessed lighting installations are essential to ensure that they remain effective over time. These inspections should be conducted by a qualified professional who can identify any signs of damage or deterioration. Common problems that can compromise fire blocking include gaps or cracks in the drywall, missing or damaged insulation, and improper wiring. For recessed lighting, common problems include loose connections, damaged fixtures, and bulbs that are not properly seated. If any problems are identified during an inspection, they should be repaired promptly to maintain the integrity of the fire-rated assembly. In addition to regular inspections, it's also important to educate building occupants about the importance of fire safety and the role of fire blocking and recessed lighting in preventing the spread of fire. Building occupants should be instructed not to tamper with or remove any fire-blocking materials and to report any concerns about the fire safety of the building to the property manager or building owner. They should also be aware of the location of fire extinguishers and other fire safety equipment, as well as the building's evacuation plan. By working together, building owners, property managers, and occupants can help to ensure that buildings are safe from fire and that lives and property are protected. Fire blocking is a critical component of fire protection in buildings. It acts as a passive fire protection system designed to slow the spread of fire by creating barriers within concealed spaces. These spaces are typically found in walls, floors, and ceilings, and they can allow fire to spread rapidly if not properly protected. The materials used for fire blocking are typically non-combustible or have a limited ability to burn. Common materials include gypsum board, also known as drywall, mineral wool, and fire-rated wood products. The specific requirements for fire blocking vary depending on the building code in effect in the jurisdiction. However, the basic principle is to create a continuous barrier that prevents fire from spreading from one compartment to another. In addition to fire blocking, fire stopping is another important fire protection measure. Fire stopping is used to seal openings around penetrations through fire-rated walls and floors such as pipes, cables, and ducts. These penetrations can create pathways for fire and smoke to spread, so it's essential to seal them with fire-rated materials. Fire-stopping materials typically include fire-rated caulk, sealant, and mineral wool. The selection of fire-stopping materials depends on the size and type of penetration, as well as the fire rating of the wall or floor. Both fire blocking and fire stopping are essential components of a comprehensive fire protection plan. They work together to create a network of barriers that slow the spread of fire and smoke, providing valuable time for occupants to evacuate and for firefighters to respond. In addition to the physical barriers created by fire blocking and fire stopping, it's also important to have a well-designed fire alarm system and a fire sprinkler system. A fire alarm system provides early warning of a fire, allowing occupants to evacuate quickly and safely. A fire sprinkler system automatically suppresses a fire, preventing it from spreading and causing extensive damage. The design of a fire alarm and sprinkler system should be based on the specific hazards and occupancy of the building. It's also important to have a fire safety plan that outlines the procedures for evacuating the building in the event of a fire. The fire safety plan should be reviewed and updated regularly, and all building occupants should be familiar with its contents. Regular fire drills should also be conducted to ensure that occupants know how to evacuate the building safely. Fire safety is a shared responsibility. Building owners, property managers, and occupants all have a role to play in preventing fires and protecting lives and property. By working together, we can create a safer environment for everyone. When selecting fire-blocking materials, it's important to consider the fire resistance rating of the material. The fire resistance rating is a measure of how long a material can withstand exposure to fire before it fails. Fire resistance ratings are typically expressed in IRs, such as 1 IR, 2 IRs, or 3 IRs. The required fire resistance rating for fire-blocking materials depends on the building code and the specific application. In general, fire-blocking materials should have a fire resistance rating that is at least equal to the fire resistance rating of the wall or floor in which they are installed. It's also important to consider the installation requirements for fire-blocking materials. Fire-blocking materials should be installed in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions and the applicable building code. Proper installation is essential to ensure that the fire blocking is effective in preventing the spread of fire. In some cases, fire blocking may need to be inspected by a building inspector to ensure that it meets the required standards. The use of the correct type of fasteners is also essential for proper fire blocking installation. Fasteners, such as screws and nails, should be fire-rated and should be installed in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. The spacing of fasteners is also important. Fasteners should be spaced closely enough to ensure that the fire-blocking material is securely attached to the surrounding structure. In addition to fire-blocking materials, it's also important to consider the use of fire-rated coatings. Fire-rated coatings are applied to combustible materials to increase their resistance to fire. These coatings can be used to protect wood framing, plywood, and other combustible materials. Fire-rated coatings are available in a variety of formulations, including intumescent coatings, which expand when exposed to heat, creating a protective barrier. The selection of a fire-rated coating depends on the type of material being protected and the fire resistance rating required. It's also important to consider the application requirements for fire-rated coatings. Fire-rated coatings should be applied in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. Proper application is essential to ensure that the coating is effective in protecting the material from fire. Regular maintenance of fire-blocking and fire-stopping systems is essential to ensure that they remain effective over time. This includes inspecting the systems for damage or deterioration and repairing any problems that are found. Fire-blocking and fire-stopping systems should be inspected at least annually, and more frequently if there is a history of problems. During an inspection, the fire-blocking and fire-stopping materials should be checked for cracks, gaps, or other signs of damage. The fasteners should also be checked to ensure that they are still securely in place. If any problems are found, they should be repaired promptly. In some cases, it may be necessary to replace damaged fire-blocking or fire-stopping materials. The replacement materials should be of the same type and fire resistance rating as the original materials. Fire safety is a continuous process. By taking the necessary precautions and performing regular maintenance, we can help to protect lives and property from fire.